Okay, so I just had my therapy appointment, and okay, so over the weekend I had a very, very interesting thing happen to me that resulted in, you know, mini video diaries, because that's what we do. And there's one in particular that I'm gonna turn my blinker off since I'm in the middle of this line of cars and we're all turning. What was I saying? Yeah, so anyways, there was a video diary. There was a video diary that ended up being about like 13 minutes long, and it was very telling of a lot of information and questions that I have had about the way my system works. And so I wanted to show my therapist, and I was going to email it to her, but then I kind of was like, no, like I want to sit there and hear her first words of when she sees it. Like, I think that was important to me. So I showed it to her, and I had her watch it in front of me, which honestly was pretty cringe though, because I could like hear my voice in it, and I was like, ooh, that is like so embarrassing and fucking awful. But it was interesting because throughout the video, she was saying, like, she like was like pausing it, and she's like, I was literally wondering this about you over the weekend too. She was like, I was literally sitting looking out my window like wondering this about you. And I was like, you wonder about me? Like, on your time off, on your personal time, you're sitting at your house and you're looking out the window and you're wondering about me? Anyways, that was touching in itself. But then she was like, even she would pause and she was like, oh my gosh, she was like, I saw that in your eyes. I saw that in the eyes. And then like 2 seconds later, I in the video would be like, oh, my eyes hurt. My eyes are burning. It was so cool to be able to share that with her, with someone who like can almost detect the things before they happen and point them out. And she like seemed so excited watching it, because she was like, this answers a lot of questions for even me too, like as your therapist, like this answers so much. Anyways, so the video is 13 minutes long. I really have no problem like sharing it. I just don't know if it's something people would want to see, and also it's a little too long to be shared on here, so I would have to condense it and kind of cut and like chop it up, but still keeping the important bits to post. Let me know if it's something that you'd be interested in seeing. But my therapist at the end today, she was like, just know, if you have anything, any videos that you ever want to show me, like, she was like, please show me. Like, she like looked like she was like, please give me more, feed me more. And she like said, she was like, I think it's so important and crucial that you're doing these video diaries, because, you know, journaling is one thing, you can get your thoughts out and reread it, but she was like, the ability to actually see your eyes change or hear the tone in your voice switch. She was like, that is so helpful towards like healing in what you're doing, because you're able to distinct parts and see what's happening in different moments with different feelings. And she was like, that's amazing for you, obviously, but she's like, it's also great for me. So, you know, I'm kind of a guinea pig. I'm like her little science fair project, and that's fine. I'm honestly really cool and happy to do that. I've always liked being teacher's pet. Anyways. Okay, that was way dirtier than it should have been. I apologize. I hope Mr. Jones from 8th grade isn't watching this. And if you are, though, holla at your girl. No, I'm kidding. Oh my gosh, what the fuck? That is fucked up. I just got out of therapy. OMG. Okay, so yeah. At the end, she was like, just know, like, oh, and then I showed her the TikTok video that I have right now that's going viral about the one of me helping my daughter with her anxiety attack. And I showed that to her because I was like, I'm really proud. I said, like, a lot of things, like, struggles that I have is, like, that DID, people, like, think that maybe because I have DID it makes me not a very good mom, or, like, it's hard to be a good parent having this disorder. And I was like, I just kind of wanted to show you this for, like, the validation that, like, I'm not a bad parent even with what I have going on. And so I showed her that video, and she was like, you know, she validated that like, you can be a fantastic parent with any mental health issue. Like, the you know, it depends on what you do with it, and if you're compliant with treatment. And like, she's like, if anything, DID makes you more compassionate and patient with your kids, and that's a priceless thing. And I was like, thank you, I appreciate that. So anyways, yeah. she said, she was like, I will never, like, go out of my way to, like, look for a client on social media. So she was like, don't ever worry. Like, I'm not going to go search for you and watch all your videos. But she was like, she was like, if you have any that you want to send me, I genuinely want to watch them. And she was like, don't worry about it being on, like, emailing me. Like, I know that you don't want to, like, bug me on my off time, because I've said that to her before, like, well, I don't want to, like, take away from your time, you know, because she's getting paid for the hour that she sees me. She's not getting paid for the other stuff if I email her and take up her time. But she genuinely told me, and I could tell she meant it. She was like, please, if you have other, like, video diaries or other things that you want to share with me, like, please send it to me. And it just made me feel good. It made me feel cared about. And I thought that was really sweet, because, like, she doesn't have to do that. She doesn't have to care. It's her job. I mean, obviously she cares because it's her job, but, like, she doesn't have to go beyond her job to care. And that really impacted me. I thought that was sweet. Anyways, if anyone would like to see this profoundly, intensely profound video, let me know. I'm fine posting it. I'd have to cut up bits of it to make it postable, but yeah. It really depends on the amount of people that would want to see it, because I don't want to post something that vulnerable if people are gonna be like, why'd you post that? You know? I'd rather do it by request. So, let me know. Okay, bye. Also, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones. I'm legal. So. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm also married. Sorry. Oh my